Greetings, people.
Right,
Welcome
greetings,
to the
greetings.
Pearlz of Wisdom show. I think I got it right this morning.
Why? Why would you not have got it right?
Why?
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Cause she give me
Greetings,
cornmeal
everyone.
porridge.
You give me cornmeal porridge.
So I get it right. All right. Just for those who know. Hold tight, the silent listeners. Well, go on. Sorry about the late thing. You know,
Yes,
guys, the
yeah,
woman
it
thing
does.
as usual.
Yes, I'll take
You know
the
what I mean?
blame. I take the
Yeah,
blame.
I forgive you. I forgive you. I definitely forgive you again. I have to.
Please forgive me, people. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll try to forgive you. All right. You can turn it up from there, you know.
I can. Okay.
Okay, 1, 2. Hear that? Not too loud because we so big. Hear the place. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, 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 up.
That's it. Bucket
the
right
one.
there. Bucket there.
Right, yo. Right, today, Pearls of Wisdom, we're going to talk about some part 2 of last week's show.
Oh yes. No, oh you, but yeah. What was you do the last? No, week before. Because sorry people, I was not here to be with you last week. Had something to sort out, and give thanks to Raggedy. Shout out to Raggedy who covered for me. I know he played very well. You enjoyed his show. I normally enjoy his shows anyway, so I know he played well on my behalf. So thanks again, Raggedy, for that. So week before, part 2 to the
Week before thing,
yeah.
right? We was talking about
picnics, innit?
no, yeah, we can't. I'm not gonna disrespect them. Yeah.
Children.
Children will think them a big man
And woman.
and then don't even reach 30. Think them a big man and then don't even reach 40. From the time you're in your 20s, you're still growing. You know what I mean? Especially with the education that's been given you here. Yeah, that make it worse. Yeah. Because they're not teaching you about yourself.
No.
So how can you be a big man and you're being educated by people that don't educate you about yourself? When you start educating yourself about yourself, then you are growing into a man, big man, or an adult. That's my opinion. Until you start learning about yourself, what you do, what you eat, where you come from, your story, you know what I mean? Especially what you eat and the things you eat, that is all involved in you growing up to be a man. Because a man don't live in a chip shop. A man don't live in a crack Donald's and £2 for a box of crack in a box with chips. Yeah, a man don't depend on that. A man find other means, you know what I mean, and eat what he is traditionally supposed to eat according to his culture. You know what I mean? That's the food you need for your self to function proper. That's my opinion. It's like you have a car and you have a car. Some cars you put some cheap oil in it. It works. It gets you from A to B, but eventually it will start clogging up your pipes. And it's just like the food that you eat. You know what I mean? It gets you from A to B, but if it ain't the food that you are supposed to eat, eventually it will clog up your pipes.
That's right.
Right? And you don't want your pipe clog up because there's nobody with a plunger to unblock that. Right, so we was talking about the children then, and you can interrupt now. Don't wait for me to finish.
No, I'm listening because
Okay.
at the end of the day, I don't want to just talk for the sake of talking. I want to make sure, when it's my time to talk, I'm talking something with sense. I just want to jump in.
I will tell you when it's your time to talk.
No, it's not
like
about
you
you.
need to know.
No, it's not you're going to tell me when to talk. I'm just listening to you. I'm taking in what you're saying, and and etc. and etc.
All right. So,
But before that, we need to give our listeners the number for them to call in, text in,
WhatsApp.
etc. and WhatsApp.
all right. Yeah, we're going to do that. And when the year, but towards the coming of the year, we're going to build a thing where we're going to start communicating with each other. It's a bit quiet at the moment, and that's deliberately done. Don't think so. We don't know what's going on. Everything is for a reason. Yeah, everything. And we are in the situation we are in for a reason. Don't watch that. Yeah, all that will be revealed soon. So, apart from that, we are going to learn how to build this communication gap. Back in the day, out at the youngers them, back in the day when radio was radio is not radio now.
Yeah.
But back in the day when radio was radio, we used to communicate hard. Yeah. Especially the youngers, because it was the young people. In that time, there was all the garage and the this and the that, and enough of the youth them at that time. You know what I mean? I'm talking about early 90s.
90s, that's right. Yeah.
The 2000 to 2010. Them time there. You know what I mean? There was a communication going on between us and between the youngsters. There was a unity there. Especially between the youngsters as well, you know what I mean? And some of them took that unity with them and gone to do better things. Now, Uno get old.
I think it's just get old. I just think it's the next set of the generation.
And
just
wiser,
get a bit,
we're going to have to step to the thing again, and we're going to start building this communication gap and make things happen. Yeah, we're going to sort all that out soon. So the time when you will know when we're going to start building up this gap, and we're going to start interacting and start making sure that everything is on point the way it should be. As I said, we're taking a little time out to do some things. Yeah, this time out is good, and we've all been through some traumatic things this year. Not gonna lie, Lady Pearlz.
It's alright.
You're done now.
Yep.
Yeah, and as for myself, been through some things, couple of things. You know what I mean? Quite a few things actually, but yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Time out is good to recoup, reevaluate, and get back to it after.
Yes, reevaluate. So now we are here talking about part 2 of the show from last what day gone. This week's show.
And then behavior.
I'm going to talk about some ungrateful pitney them. Right? Otherwise, to my English children, some unruly children who are not grateful. Yeah. So for what we have done. Now the question is this: one of my feisty youth them asked me or told me, yeah, I have to improvise. You know, it's love. I have love for the brother, so I'm talking about it in a loving way, and I know he will understand. Yeah. And I know so you will understand. One of my feisty youth, bright and out hard, bright like the sun at night. Yeah.
Sun at night, you know.
Yeah. Feisty. Come tell me, sir. Now this is where I need your texts to see if it's valid to you.
Yeah, and the number to call is.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get, the number is 079 because look like Lady Leo, Lady Leo Pearlz turning giraffe or hyena.
31366.
Yeah.
That is 079 444 31366.
You remind me of them hyenas. You know when they stand up.
The meerkats.
Yeah. When they're looking.
Because I'm trying to stretch my neck to see.
Yeah. Right. So we're gonna get the phone lines running, or you can send a text on the WhatsApp.
Please text, WhatsApp, call in, interact, because we would like to hear from you. Thank you.
We are going to interact because you know what? We don't sit here to just keep these seats warm.
That's right. We want to hear from you. We value your opinions.
Yes, so we're going to do that.
And yes, your experience.
Communication. As time goes on, everybody will be rewarded for their input. Not saying we are pay anybody.
Yes.
But we are going to nothing. Can't tell you nothing. Not good. We're just up to something. Yeah, we just up to something. Yeah, we always up to something. Right. Now my feisty brought on bright and outer harder sun who shine like the sun at night. Come say to me that I am responsible because I supposed to teach him how to make money, how to build a family structure, how to bring up his children. I'm supposed to teach him all of these things. And I said to him, you're chatting a load of shaving cream.
Yeah. To put it nicely.
Yes.
Yes.
In an educated, ghetto-knowledge way. Because we speak ghetto-knowledge around here, so you will find some things said to you. So I say, yo, he says, you are responsible for this. It's your job to make sure that I know how to bring up my children, and I'm this and I that, and I supposed to educate them to a point and all this kind of thing. And I said, yo, you're chatting some shaving cream. Right? Now, the question I ask you, the listeners, is he right? Yeah? Is he right? And the reason why I say, why I dispute the thing, because when you consider what some parents have to go through bringing you up, because you are going to have children, and or if you have children now and you got through from the time they come into the world, right? If you don't have the time for them, because you remember you got to talk to this guy named Bill, who come check you every 3 months, and if you don't deal with him are gonna get red, and if Bill get red and you still don't deal with him are gonna call him brethren, one name Beer and one name Lift. Yeah, and when the two of them come, Beer Lift. Finish. One name Bill and one name Lift. So when they come, Bill wanting money. You understand? So we now, the parent, has to make sure that Bill is taken care of, and then don't send beer and Lift. So we have to know, say, we got to work and do things to put food on the table and keep things running. Sometimes it's hard, right? Especially in the early days, right? I know we're not in that time now, and that's the same argument he says. But we're not living in that time now. You're not living back then. I said, brethren, survival is the key. So my question is this: is it more important to teach your child how to bring up his children or her children, and how to educate her children, or is it more important to teach them how to survive?
Can I interject?
Yeah, now can I elaborate on the survival thing? It's hard out there in the world, and some people don't know how to survive. You can get that little money, but this is those who don't know how to survive. For example, now, when you was growing up and there was no food in the house, what did your mum make for you?
Can I be totally honest? There was food in the house. I don't know.
Okay, well, you live a rich life.
Yeah.
There's always food. You think there's always food in the house, because they don't tell you. Remember, we were youngers, you know. We've always had. You see what you just said there? I don't know, because there's always been food in the house.
Yeah, so there was.
How did they make that possible? Right, that there's always food in the house. Now, my youth, them growing up, you know, you always had food in the house. Right. Now, the thing about it is, how did that food get there? And when the food is low and there's nothing to hardly eat, you don't know, because we're still giving you a meal on the table, even if it's rice and baked beans. You're getting something to eat. You understand? Even if it's toast with beans and a drink, and you still get, but you don't know. That's all there is. The only thing you will know what will run out, they will tell you, is when the bread finish, or when the flour finish, or when the sugar finish, or when the tea bag finish, or the milk. The mind, them thing there.
Yeah.
But anything outside of that, oh, they don't tell you. So young people don't think about when the food done and there's no food in the house, or the ration is very low, and mother and father don't know where the next food is coming from. They find something to put on the table. So you would turn around and say what you say. So is it better to teach a child how to survive, you know, how to live out here in the world on the streets, you understand? Or is it better to teach him how to bring, or her, how to bring up their children? Both is important, but you can only pick one.
But but the thing about it is, I think if you excuse me. Oh, I think for me personally, the one will sort out the other, and if you teach your children how, it's not even, I don't know if you call it survive, or you call it, say, to live. Let's choose the right word, survive. I don't know if it's survive or how to just live, because surviving just has to sound like you're just always at the poverty line or the line of desperation. But for me, I think when you teach your children the basics of life and living, that will then be carried on to how they will then go on to raise their children, because the principles, moral standards, skills, life skills that you pass down to them, they will then pass it down to their children, and then it should go on and go on, and so I think if you start with teaching them those things, they themselves can, as they get older, they will add on whatever it is they want to add on, because they may not have agreed with everything that we've taught them, and they may choose to tweak it a bit and may throw away some stuff or keep that and then build on top of that, and then bring it down, like I said, pass it down to their children, and their children pass it down to their children, and etc. and etc. It's like Chinese whispers. Every time you pass on a little message to somebody, it changes. So the way it's taught may change as time goes down the generations and stuff like that. But I think for me personally, if I've decided to have children or childs come along, regardless of whether, some people call it accident or mistake, whatever, a child is there. For me personally, I think that it is my duty for up to the first, say, 16 to 18 years.
Years?
Yeah, I think it is up to that
18.
age. Yeah, because that's what they say by law is your responsibility, innit?
Yeah, I've been a laugh.
Because by 16 now they can work. So I would say then up to...
By 16 they can work?
Yeah, they're allowed to work. They get their national insurance card, isn't it, at 16? So they're allowed to work from 16 onwards. So the law sort of classes them like mini adults, because they can go out and get their own place if they wanted to at 16. Things like that. They can know, they don't have to tell us anything about their lives anymore when they reach 16. So I think, for me, I think that it's my duty from the time I've given birth up and then to that time of say 16, 18, to make sure I have taught them the basics of life. 16 to 18, yeah, the basics of life, cooking, cleaning, budgeting money, all of those basic things that that we should learn. But again, of course, we do take into consideration, but that looks like a perfect picture, isn't it? You being able to teach your children all that. Some people can't, because they don't have the capability or the ability to do it.
We could go back it up a bit. The time has changed. Times have changed. So for example, there was a time when we never used to even read or write. When I say there was a time, like there was a time when we was not allowed to read or write, right? In that time, you have a generation of people that came, the children that come, who wasn't allowed to read or write, right? Their children come, and then their children come, and then their children come, but then you have the windrush people, them. You think every one of them come over here can read and write? People are not looking at the times, the time era. So there's a lot of things that our people was going through when they first come to this country, and one of them was the jobs, right? At the time, was very scarce. When I say scarce, I mean we never had high position jobs. Yeah, it was very few. Which if you did, you wouldn't even know them. But most of people were doing cleaning and building, sweeping road, labourers. We was a lot of these things. Yeah. Now, although the money was alright at the time, education wasn't available for some of them, because the main thing what they needed to do was survive, pay rent, put food on the table for their children. That was their priority in some cases. Yeah. Some of them went out there and went on done some gangster thing and drugs thing and whatever. What was it? Not drugs, but weed at the time.
Yeah.
Some of them went onto that, and some of them went onto all different. There's different paths. I just happened to be brought up on one of the paths them that we do not want to talk about. Yeah. So on the path that I was brought up on, we weren't into this thing. Yeah. This thing. We would, you know, we got school and all of that stuff, but we was brought up to survive. You know, we was brought up like how to put food on the table, how to keep the house in order. You know what I mean? How to watch each other's back. Because the reason why, yeah, what at the texting crew, where to get to? Reason why is because at the time we was doing our thing, there was a lot of racism on the streets. You just miss it. Yeah, your generation just miss it.
Missed it, yeah.
You just miss it.
Yeah.
But in our generation, we was right. Our parents, they were right in the middle of it. Right, they come, them make it. Them is when they come is when it start. Yeah, and then we grow up in the worst part of it. Yeah, because now they got children. The black people's got children. Let's terrorize the little gollywogs and all of this stuff. This is, you know what I mean. So we got the hard end of it. We had to fight as well. Our parents had to fight against the teddy boys.
They fought, didn't they? But I think with your generation, you lot were more rebellious than them because they thought they had to keep their P's and Q's because they've come to this country and they, you know, had to keep their jobs and their roofs over their head and etc. and etc. Whereas you guys was like, we don't care about this, we're gonna fight. So there's a lot of rebellion and nobody business about keeping their P's and Q's or anything like that.
Okay. So how it is that there was a lot of things needed clearing up. I'm gonna explain this to the youth them, you know, because when some of the youth them think, oh, my dad ain't done nothing for me, and my granddad, I don't hardly know my granddad and this and that, and we'll point the fingers. Some of you do have a right to point the finger, and some of you don't. Yeah. So I'm just showing you a point of view that maybe some of you haven't really looked at. And the thing is, as I said, some of you, not all of you, right? So there's a generation that had to survive, yeah. What I show my feisty youth, yeah, so, right, is this. We had to survive. You had to deal with this. My parents had to deal with the skinheads. No, they never deal with the skinheads. They had to deal with the teddy boys.
The teddy boys, yeah.
They had to deal with the teddy boys, and the teddy boys always walk around with their knives and their knuckle dusters and all of this stuff. I think so them at Elvis Presley and our tight Josies. Yeah. So our parents had to deal with them. Yeah. Now, when you're looking at some of the riots that started in Brixton and all of that, it was people like our parents that used to go down there and help their brothers and sisters, no matter what part of the Caribbean they come from.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's people like my parents. I'm not gonna say like your parents because some of your parents was goody and this, but my parents, them, they were the ones that used to go out there and deal with things. You understand? No joke. I grow up and I see them. I grow up as a little youth, and I know when they're going out. They're going out. Yeah. You understand? I'm gonna watch them when I grow up and say, boy, what going out there? I thought it was normal. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you the full 100, but they go out there and they take care of things and they look after their people. That's the generation of my parents over here, not in a Jamaica or wherever.
Over here, yeah.
Over here. Because none of our parents was harassed. And I'm telling you now, yeah, your parents might not tell you and your grandparents might not tell you, but you got no idea how much of our black people got molested and raped in that time. You understand? You have teddy boys and all these people. You think they're gonna just? Yeah, they did. You think they're just gonna make a nice black woman walk home from work and go about her business? And then if they do harass the black woman, do you think the black woman's gonna come home and make you, the children, know what going on?
Nope.
You don't know, but I know something was going on because I know my mother used to go to work with one big knife. Yeah, I got bingo with one big knife, and father used to go out with one big knife. I'm saying like, boy, I don't know what going on there, but everybody go out there with big knife. You understand? That's how we grow people. Some of us. Now the reason why I'm putting that to you is to make you understand that there is some people that pointing the finger on their parents and not realizing that in a colony of ants, you have the worker ants, you have the ones that bring the food, you have the ones that look after the queen, and you have the ones that look after the children, and you also have the ones then that call the soldier ants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a colony, which we will call today a community. Yeah, or unity, oneness. Yeah, or segregation, if you want to call it a deeper word, because you ain't got no choice but to work together. Yeah. Now, the thing is, you got these ants now, which are the soldier ants. Without the soldier ants, there is no colony. Yeah, because they have to defend the colony from teddy boys, punk rockers, skinheads, mods, National Front, the police them dragging your pitney off the street on the road and throwing them in a police car or van and strip searching them, locking them up for sauce. Remember sauce? Right. Now, these are not excuses, right? All I'm just trying to show you is the lifestyle that some of us live, not all of us. Yeah. Now, in saying that now, and you have the soldier and them out there, yeah, not for you now will realize who your parents was. You will say, well, your parent or your mum was a nurse and or look after the children, and but yet your father was a builder and yeah, or your father was a soldier, and you understand? I look at it like that because the scriptures say, go to the ants and learn.
Yeah, learn about
right. If you really want to learn how to build, how to work together, how to unite,
consider that.
Look at how ants run their thing. You understand? And that's what it was like for us in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Yeah, definitely them time there. Yeah. So looking at that now, just showing you. So well, if you are a worker, if you are a soldier ant, you cannot teach your children how to cook, because that's not your job.
I hear you.
You understand? You have another set of ants that teach them how to do that. So the point of what I'm trying to say is that when you do these things, and you are the soldier ant or whatever, some of us are educational, whatever it is. When you are the soldier ant and you go out there and you soldier, and you teach your youth them how to survive, because you had to survive. That's all you know.
Yeah.
Is how to survive, how to stay alive in this concrete jungle called Babylon. You have to learn how to survive. When you learn how to survive, you teach your sons and daughters how to survive. Yeah. Some of them don't listen because they think you're old school and think you don't understand what I go on. And some of them do listen. Now the ones them that don't listen and say that you're old school, look, I'm telling you something. There is nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
Right? So when you think that we are old school, we're not old school. We just come in with older knowledge. But eventually you will still need this knowledge, no matter what, and no matter how old you go, because it's part of your history. You understand? It's part of what has held your people back for all these years. Yeah. So you need to know the struggle that some of your parents, especially from the Windrush time upwards as well, not even talking about slavery, because that is just not in this conversation.
No.
Yeah. But some of them went through some things, and I grow to see what they went through. So I am one of the generations that can share with you the information, the lifestyle of those who came off the Windrush. I can explain to you the lifestyle, not of all of them, but some of them. You know what I mean? Especially the soldier ants them. I can tell you about their lifestyle. Yeah. And they had to survive. You know what I mean? So when you teach your youths what you know, how to survive, whether you can teach your child or your daughter how to cook, how to clean, how to keep the house in order, how to become a lady. That's the mother's job, to school the daughter how to look after the house and educate yourself. So that pressure was put on the daughters. in them
a lot
time
in them
there.
times it was.
Yeah.
The sisters them.
Yeah, the
and
sisters them.
You know, had to do a lot of the babysitting and educating, cooking, everything.
Everything.
Hair. My sister would have to do my hair because my mum didn't have the time. So it was my sister's duty to do my hair. Sometimes my sister was the one. I looked. You know what? The thing is, I looked up to my sister more than I did to my mum. You get what I'm saying? To me, my sister was like my mum. She was her mum. Do you understand what I'm saying? And not being horrible, or weren't being disrespectful, or it was nothing like that. I just saw her do more for me, more than what I thought my mum wasn't doing. If you get what I'm saying, but my mum was busy working. You understand what I'm saying? So I saw my mum, but I didn't see my mum. If you get what I'm saying, we didn't have that interaction as mother and daughter. But with my sister filled that role as mother. You understand? Because she was cooking and doing and doing and doing.
Interaction with your mother? Why?
Because she wasn't really
Where was she then?
Working. That's what I'm saying. She was working.
So
you know.
Can you blame her for not being able to spend the amount of time that she wanted to spend with you?
You know what? I didn't blame my mum. You know, I never blamed my mum. But the only thing I will say is this: when I had my children, and I realised that I didn't know certain things that I felt I should have known. And I should have, and my mum should have taught me from I was young. You know, I did go through a period thinking, well, my mum should have taught me this and my mum should have taught me that. But then reality, you understand what I'm saying? I had the sense of mind to sit down and think back about my mum's life and look at things, and you understand what I'm saying, and see that she didn't have the time. And then when I realised, and I took the responsibility back then and said, you know what, all right, then I wasn't taught this, but I'm in a position now to learn this, so let me learn it for myself, let me teach myself, and let me do all I can then to learn it, if you get what I'm saying. And I took that responsibility to start studying whatever it is that I needed to study.
You have to take it upon yourself.
So I filled the gap for myself.
Because it's what you needed.
Yeah, so I had to fill the gap for myself.
Now, leading up to this thing now, is that, as I said, see, you had to do what you had to do. Your parents couldn't do everything that you required from them. And then you can turn around and say, I think it's my parents' duty you should have taught me this. No, they teach you what they can teach you. Yeah. So, as I say, from my part, it was important to teach my children how to survive. Yeah. Because when you're out on the streets and you're bucking up on skinheads and national fronts and this sus law and all of this thing, you need to know how to deal with this thing. You know what I mean? You need to know, say, if you're walking down the road, you and your brethren, and about four skinheads turn up in big Dr. Martin boots and red laces and red braces and all of that, and they're walking down the road, and you're on the same side of the road as them, you're guaranteed to cross the road. That's the lifestyle that some of us had to deal with. You know what I mean? Until we got a little bit bigger, you know what I mean? We could say, well, nah, cross the road again. You know what I mean? But while you're growing up, you've got to learn to defend yourself. You understand? You've got to learn to say, yo, the streets out here ain't nice, and there's people out there that don't like you. And the thing about it is, we grew up thinking that anytime you see a white person, you have to, like, are they okay? Are they got the police? Are they gonna you know what I mean? It's not like now. You go out there now, you know what I mean, you look, you know what I mean, you can walk freely. But there was a point where, especially at night time, any car that pull up with white people in there near you, you're either gonna put your hands on your things, or you're gonna just and find a way to run. Even if they're not even paying you no mind, you don't know, because it's just the way of life that you got to know how to watch who and who is who. You know what I mean? So man don't have time to sit down and say, well, make a plan this, I plan that. I leave that to the mothers. You understand? I leave that side to the mothers, and I show the youth them how to survive. Some of the youth, they will say, well, that's wrong because it's your responsibility. I said, my responsibility is to keep you alive out here, bro. You understand? There's no point you know how to bring up your children if you can't walk. There's no point you learn how to bring up your children and how to run a business, right? If you got one eye, or somebody do you something, some racist man done you something, or police lock you up in a prison for a long time for nothing. Yeah, because you didn't know how the code is out there on the road. You understand? So
it's just it's an ideal, isn't it, that, you know, parents should teach all of those things. Like I said, budget your money, principles, moral standards, you know, hygiene, you know, cook your food and clean your, you know, is an ideal. You understand what I'm saying? And I realise, you know, even with my own children, you know, they expected me, and not that they expected, no, let me correct myself. I won't say they expected, but I feel that, this is my feeling, that they expect me to be finding them a property, pay for the property, you know, driving lessons, you know, pay for them to go on holiday, you know, all of those things. And
they expect all of these things
from you. They expect all of these things, but it's not just my lot. I hear it from a lot of children. But, you know, I have to say this. They see a lot of the Caucasian people doing
it with their children.
But what they don't seem to understand, those Caucasian people that are doing it with their children have monies that never belonged to them in the first place, that they're brought down from generation to generation to generation to generation, that can afford for them to do these things with their children. Yeah, coming back from going back. We didn't have those monies taken, you know, stolen monies that we could rely on from generation, pass on from generation to generation to be doing this.
Yes.
You understand? We come from a very rough place. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, even myself, sometimes I would sit down and think to myself, but weird. My parents, but this, I'm taking on this point of view now. You understand what I'm saying? And I have to really truly get back to reality. How comes my parents never give me driving lessons, and how comes they never paid for my rent or my... Girl, sort your life out. You understand what I'm saying? I have to talk to myself and to behave yourself. Do you know where my parents are coming? Do you know where they're coming from? And really think about and sit down and really penny where my parents' life is coming from. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to go and do driving, go pay for your own driving lessons. If you want to, go do it yourself.
No, it's our responsibility as a parent to set them up so that when they leave home, they know what to do. It's our responsibility. So we got to make sure that they learn how to drive. We got to make sure that they know to go to college and university. We got to make sure some parents could have done that.
Yes, some.
Right?
Some
and
could
some
have.
Couldn't.
Yeah. Some could have, because of whatever setup they had for themselves and whatever the case may be. But a majority could not do that. Majority couldn't do that.
Majority.
Yeah.
So these...
And it was a majority that couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was quite a lot of them, because they were getting labourers' job and cleaning job. Because I see young people out there who wants to point the finger at the parent and say, Mum and Dad never done nothing for me, and my granddad and grandparents don't do nothing for me. I say our parents, or otherwise would be your grandparents, most probably, is the ones that built this country. You understand? You can see that we've done all the work in the factory, we've done all the grafting. I'm going to give you a little bit of history of this country. I am not that old, ancient spirit, but not that old. I've just seen a lot. Yeah, there's a time in this country when they used to leave bread and milk and all these things at the doorstep. Yeah. There was a time when you could go out and leave your front door wide open and go to the shop and come back in this country here that we're living in. Yeah. Why? Because you know that no white man ain't coming in your house like that back in the day. If a man knocked the door and your door was open, they're not coming in. Yeah,
it's true. But you know, even up until, you know, when even that, because it come back to me, even before Mrs. Jarrett died, you could, that was 85, isn't it? You could still do it then.
Yeah, you could still do it then. It was still alright, because you still had the milkman.
Still alright then.
Right.
Even up to then.
Right. So I'm going back before then to let people understand a little bit about the worker ants them, so to speak. Yeah, the soldier ants them. Your parents, your grandparents were the ones that come here and built this place. There was bread on the doorstep, milk on the doorstep. The birds them used to come on the doorstep and peck the top of the milk bottle, and drink out your top of your milk. Yeah, they used to come and pick out your bread and eat your bread. Yeah, The dog them used to come to your doorstep and piss on your bread. Yeah, if they want to piss on your bread, because we never had dogs. Yeah, why we never had that. And on top of that, yeah, this is things what I seen with my own eyes. Yeah, when you go and buy a bag of chips, it wrap up in a newspaper. Yeah, remember what I'm telling you. You go and buy chips, wrap up in a newspaper. When you go to eat your chips, you're reading page 3 on the big chips.
On the chips.
Yeah, you understand? You might see a woman breast on one of your chips. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Print out
on your chips. You understand? That's this country that we come and the Windrush people them come and see. Yeah. That's this country here. Yeah. It's your people, our people, is the one them that put things straight. Yeah, show them say, yo, chips for wrap up in a plain paper. This, that, rare. There's so much little groundwork that our family has done to keep this country. There was no bath. You know what you're bearding? Or there was no bath. The thing that you have a bath in a bathroom. We never had that thing. It is what you call a bathroom. We never have that. You understand? You have a door with a room, and in that room you have a sink. That's it. That's your bathroom. Your bath, you never had a bath. You had a zinc pan, which we call, it's like a king size sardine tin. And one adult can fit in it. No plug hole or nothing. You have to fill that up with a kettle. I'm going to give you young people some history. So when you're pointing your finger at your parents, you need to know what they've been through and where they've come from to understand they had to survive. Right? So you might say, yeah, that was then. No, it all adds up. Everything is connected. Never forget that. I'm going to give you that sentence again. Everything is connected. Everything. Right? So them time that there was no bath, so you had to get this big iron pan, drag it in, and you got to fill it up with kettle, and sometimes you have a boiler. If you watch the old English film, you will see them doing these things. Yeah, you see, and you see these white people in a big pan and a scrub. That's what it was like here in my lifetime. Yeah, and we're talking about the 60s and the 70s. Some people don't have these things. They don't bathroom. None of the toilet was outside. Oh Lord! Give you some information. You and you. Some of you them who wants to point the finger at your parents. There was no inside toilet.
Outside.
You have to go outside to go to the toilet. So imagine in the winter time when there's snow out there. You have to go outside as a child in the snow to go to the toilet and come back in. Not even considering your not alone friend them who's in the toilet waiting for you to come. Yeah.
Those big old dirty
you're
spiders
not a dirty spider that's hitch up in there. Because them are right. You know what I mean? So, look at history. We never had central heating. You have this thing you call a radiator on a spoil, you know. And grateful some of you. Some of you are grateful, but when I talk to the ungrateful one who don't understand, yeah, there is a generation out there that just had to be there to make the rest of them survive. And these were the soldiers. You understand? If it wasn't for the soldiers, we wouldn't be standing up as we are today. You understand? So back to the thing. Young adults who think that they're big man and big woman. There was no thing what you call a radiator. Yeah? The only place you may find a radiator is in a school. Yeah? But because they had a boiler room.
That's right.
Right? So that's the only, or a hospital.
Yeah?
Those are the only places when I was growing up where you'll find heating. You had the thing called Paraffin.
And colour gas.
Paraffin. Colour gas is new.
Is that new?
When colour gas came out, everybody was having a party when colour gas came out.
Going back to the paraffin, yeah, because colour gas came out in when? Because
in the 80s.
10 years or so. You go in the 81.
Colour gas came out in the 80s.
Yeah,
early 80s.
Yeah, and paraffin was in the 70s. Yeah, because
paraffin was in the 70s.
Yeah,
paraffin was in the 70s. Colour gas came out afterwards.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go backward on this, right?
Yeah.
You have your radiator where you can put your nice Nike tracksuit on it to dry. Yeah, let's use the Nike tracksuit as an example, especially the nice one. You
you could never put that material on your paraffin heater.
No, but this is where we're gonna go. We're gonna just try to show them. You have to vision this. No, but they have to vision the thing, right? So imagine now you got your nice Nike tracksuit. Just come out.
Because Adidas back in them day, more though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but we're talking about now. Yeah.
Now, okay.
We're gonna go back. We have to make them overstand. So you get your nice Nike tracksuit or your Adidas tracksuit, Chris. You put it on the radiator to dry. Now we'll put back the time. Now there's no radiator, so you have to use color gas. That means you got to watch the thing.
But you hang it on the back of a chair.
You hang it on the back of the chair and you put it near the heater, it will dry. Before color gas, you had paraffin heater. Yeah, there's two types of paraffin heater. There was one with the big round ball where you turn it. Yeah, you got to light this thing. You put paraffin in the back of it, and it soaks this material thing,
that's right,
which we call a wick, and then you light that, and then you put this ball on the top, and then that makes the heat spread out, and then you got a cage that goes over it, and then you close the cage so that it keeps you away. That is called a paraffin heater. Now imagine you're drying your clothes with that. Before that, they had another paraffin heater which was smaller. It was a tall thing. They used to there's two types. There was one short one what the girls them used to use to press their hair. That's right. And there's a taller one that they used to have in the bedroom. Green. They were always green. Like that's the only paint they had from the leftover from the war. And back in the day, everything was green. The houses was painted green. The doors were painted green. The heaters was green. It's like all the
it was all the surplus things left, like you said.
Yeah, that's all the paint that left over from the war. They use it and paint the house them and the paraffin heater. Back it again. Before the paraffin heater is a thing like this. Same scenario, you put paraffin in it, but if you knock it, what happens?
That's spilling over.
No, it doesn't.
You don't spill?
No, this one, it turns off.
Oh, did that one turn off?
Yeah, they had one that if you bounce it, it turns off.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, because it had a safety, it had a little catch in it.
Okay,
That was the first one. That was the safety one. Now, if you are a child and you're cold and you're around the heater, and one of you bounce that thing, it's going off. Mommy and daddy ain't coming in there to light that because you shouldn't be near it. So now you have to backside freeze for the whole night. Yeah. Before that, you had cold fires. Now imagine you have to dry your brand new Nike top over these things. Yeah. How long it would take in a cold room. You know, gas fire, that was a luxury. But I'm just trying to show you, we come from the era where there was coal fire. We've seen it all. Coal fire, paraffin fire, then gas.
Gas and
so
then radiator.
It's all about survival because there's so much things that we had to do to survive. So while I show you this little history of what we had and what we had to use and the things that we had to deal with, no bath, we had to go outside, toilet outside. I think the first time I actually saw a real bath, like a real one in a bathroom. Oh, when was this? This was in the 70s. The 70s. You know what I mean? That's when we saw like a real bathroom. You understand what I'm saying? But you ones out there now need to realise that the journey that our people went through, just to make sure that, just to show you that the things that they had to use and what they had to go through, and they had to pay rent, plus deal with all this racism and all these other things, segregation, because there was segregation then. Yeah, there was some black people who would deal with white people. You know what I mean? And there was a couple white guys that used to mix around with the black man them. But you don't know who they are. You understand? So that's the lifestyle of growing up. We had to survive. And I beg no pity. We're just telling us straight. We had to survive.
The truth of the matter, isn't it?
Yeah, so you lot come now. You have radiator, you have television, you have cable TV, you have mobile phone, you have washing machine,
hand
dryer,
and spinner,
and microwave. You got all these things, right? And then you want to turn around and point the finger on us who say we should have this. You lot got it all there. But we never had none of these things. You know what I mean? So we have to think about the safety of ourselves and the safety of our children. We got to bring up our children so that they are safe on the street. That was the most important thing. Yeah, to some of the black family, them I should say, was to make sure that their youths them can walk street safe. You understand? And that was an issue. That was an issue because they knew the danger that we was in. So you have to bring up your child to somebody. Don't you come home and you get beat up? Don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't come home telling mommy and daddy, say, boy, one guy punched me in my eye. Are your business that? That's it.
Yeah.
Mommy and daddy ain't coming to no school to fight no fight for you.
You better go back
You
and
understand?
beat him.
Not that they don't want to and that they don't care, but they're just teaching you have to man up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have a problem with the teacher or something, that's a different story. But if you fight at school and you lose, don't come home and tell us anything. If you fight at school and you win, why you beat up the boy like that?
But you know they
So
have
either way.
beat them up though.
Yeah, but they got I know, but you know,
You know
they don't want to encourage you to do that. So that's how it is. You know what I mean?
Let me just greet my friend Asini Kojo. He's from Ghana. He's listening right now. Blessings, my brother. Thank you for listening in, yeah? I appreciate that. And he is one of the best crocheters in Ghana. He makes some brilliant stuff.
So where is he now?
He's in Ghana right now.
So how am I going to see the crochet?
I would say, Esini, I'm going to show him your Facebook profile thing so that you need to post some stuff up on there so that he can see,
so
because
we can put it on the website.
We can put it on the website for you and get your stuff sold, you know, because I'm telling you, you know what? Remember when we had the thing down at Brixton? I don't know if you remember when we had the Emancipation Day and had on the green, the Jamaican colours, green, yellow and black, and I had the tam on. But anyway, he made it.
Okay.
He was the one that created it, basically.
Oh, we need to see it again.
Yeah, so basically that's him there.
Well, we're going to help our African brethren.
Yeah.
Yeah. So give thanks, brethren. We're going to help you out a little piece. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to help you with your work thing, what you're dealing with. And this is what it's about. This is what Bless is about.
Yeah.
To network and help our people rise up. How's your ears?
How's my ears?
Yeah, didn't your ears go funny?
Did this now? Did it pop? No.
It's just mine.
Did something? No.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And, you know, people need to look at our African culture. It was not always about beating people, yeah?
Exactly.
But we definitely grew up with respect and manners for our elders, and we was do what we told, and we was never feisty and bright, no matter how old we get, no matter how big we get. Even when you reach 50, you don't get feisty and bright with your parents. It's just is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the other generation now who would tell their parents to shut up. You understand?
Yes.
Don't talk to me. I'm not talking to you. But hold on, you're under my roof and you're telling me don't talk to you. You're under my roof and telling me you're not talking to me. You're under my roof and coming and going when you please and coming or going anything. Listen to me. You do that under your own roof. You understand? So the moral of the story is I show my youth them. So listen, you deal with me how you want your youths to deal with you. Don't deal with me like me and you is size. Yeah?
That's right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Deal with me how you want your child to deal with you. Because I will always have I will show all of them. I'm not saying it in a boastful way like I got my youth them under manners or not. My youth them are respectable boys and girls and I love them and everything. But it's the profile I had to set because I knew that one day they will all grow and want to try a thing.
Yeah,
but that's what boys do.
That's what they do.
That's what boys do. Yeah. So I knew this is why when you look at the animal kingdom, the lion run them out in the Lion Kingdom.
Yeah.
Run
when they reach
them.
a certain age, yes, they do.
Brethren, from the time you reach a certain age, cub, you got to leave because you're not controlling this yard here with me and your mother.
As you say, go on, you do, and I say, watch the Animal Kingdom.
Watch the Animal Kingdom
because I just had kittens the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, we had kittens.
Well, stop. Listen, if you had kittens in her, you better go to the scientist.
No, not me personally, but my cat. She had kittens about 5 months ago.
There's some alien people out there in the car. You could be an alien sitting next to me.
But anyway. we kept one of the boys. His name's T'Challa, of course, from Black Panther, King T'Challa, and he goes on like he's king in our house.
You call a cat T'Challa?
Yeah, because he's a king. He's all black. He's a beautiful black cat.
T'Challa.
T'Challa. That's the name of the king in Wakanda.
So you call a puss the name of a king?
Yeah, because he goes on like he's a king in the house. So, you know, he's king of Wakanda's my house. You know what I mean? So it's king of Wakanda.
Tell me the story about your puss.
Anyway, so
that you had.
Yeah, that I had. He's my son. T'Challa is my adopted. The kitten's my child. Yeah, it goes on like he's my baby. Anyway, so I watched this cat with his mother. Yeah, and you know he's little, and of course he's still suckling from the mother and all the rest of it. As he got bigger and bigger, you know, I see him start challenge the mother, and I'm watching him now. I'm watching the behaviour of this cat here, this kitten here, and then all of a sudden he's gotten older. He's weeks old now. He's 3 weeks old now, 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old now, and he is jumping on his mother, trying to headlock her, wrestle her, bite her, and do all kinds of things. And I'm thinking to myself, this cat is really and truly faced and bright and out of order. And I'm watching the interaction, and I'm watching the mummy cat when she get fed up with him now, she'll box him down the ground and she'll bite him and hold him down and like, behave yourself, boy, stop it. You understand? Know your place. And then he will run off and go about his business. And then he'll forget himself again and want jump on her and do all. But I'm watching the interaction, and I'm thinking to myself, if, you know, even in the animal kingdom, these children will try it with their parents. You understand what I'm saying? And the parents have to just slap him down and bite him and bad him up and make him know, so listen to me. I'm your mother. You understand? Behave yourself. Know yourself. You understand what I'm saying? But again, because he's a boy and it's in his nature to be domineering, he's trying to dominate his mother. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, she's not having it. But now she's fed up of him. Now she's reached the stage where, you know what? You are now, how much weeks old or months old, you are now classed as a man. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need to deal with you no more. I don't feed you no more. I don't nothing. You understand what I'm saying? She don't have to do nothing. She can't even be bothered with him. She'll come in and she will see him. They'll have a couple of interactions. She get fed up with him. She go on about her business. She don't want to know him no more. Because you know what? You can fend for yourself now. You understand what I'm saying? So even in the animal kingdom, you see the stages of growth. You understand? And how they are. And it is so funny to see with the animal kingdom. You're thinking, all right, then if they're doing it in the animal kingdom, then what's going on with the human? You understand what I'm saying with humans?
Yeah,
and us
we learn from nature. We learn from nature.
You know, and like I was saying to you, when sons want to come and try to dominate the mother and bully down the mother, you understand what I'm saying? You have to put them in their place and know yourself.
Well, it's that, you know what I mean? So, as I said, we're sharing this information with you because one day you will have children. And if you make the mistake of bringing up your children the European way, you're going to have a problem.
A big one.
Yeah? You could teach them and educate them what they need to know, but do not bring them up with a culture that is not theirs. You understand? Because they're going to expect from you what is expected from that culture.
From that culture, yeah.
Now, remember this. We have a culture of people that get up in the morning, go to work, have their this, have their that, have their cup of tea, have their lunch, come home, get a cup of tea, lunch, you know what I mean? And dinner's always prepared and all this, man just come on from work, go pub, this. They got the thing in a certain way of their culture, yeah? But when I was growing up, I see a part of the English culture where the man them had no respect for the women, yeah? The woman was the slave. She was like, when I say the slave, she wasn't like, some of them were disrespected, but the man hardly done anything in some of them. Some of the man them work, but they don't do nothing in the house.
Nothing in the house. I come sit down in the armchair, and that was it.
Nothing in the house.
The woman bring the food there, bring the beer there, the tea there, the whatever there. You're lucky they never bid him killing at the chair at all. You understand? Or lift him up and carry him up to bed.
Yes, and even if the man cussed the woman, she just cool. You understand? I'm not saying they're all like that, but I'm just trying to show you.
Yeah, because it was like
there's certain things that is allowed and accepted in certain cultures, which is not accepted in our culture at no time at all.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You know? The child will not ever get the opportunity to disrespect the mother in our culture. No. The child will never get the opportunity to disrespect the father or any elder in our family. Now, our family, children, generations later, are telling us we are old school. We're late. Yeah? It don't go like that. Nothing ain't changing. Nothing is new on this planet. It's just that you don't know yet.
Yeah.
And when you reach our age, you're going to say the same things or the same story, but a different version. But it ain't new. It's just a different version. Just like the Bible. The Bible ain't new. It's just another version of another story. Nothing ain't changed. The story may change, but the understanding of the story and the message has not changed. It's just the story's being changed. Just like generations. So young people need to realize we got to do what we got to do out here to survive. First point in view, for me and my family, survive. All my youths are survivors. All my daughters are survivors. My daughters ain't got no ramp to thump down any man, anytime, any place. Because they know that's I go. Defend yourself from man, woman, anyone. That's the first rule. And then after that, you show love. You understand? Simple as that. I don't say you must go around and be a bully, but when you look at these people are just sugarcoating all this whole world to make it look like, even religion, to make it look like it's all goody goody. Oh, be a Muslim. Oh, be a Christian. Oh, God will save you. Oh, and be good. Ah, you be good, yeah. And when the people then come and take away your house and your land and throw you in a slavery, you're still gonna do the same thing. Now they've done all of that. I'm not bringing it up to be hypocritical or nothing. I'm just trying to show you, say, look, even the man that you pray to reached a point in his life where he says, I ain't having none of this, and mash up the temple.
You turn over the table.
And turn over everything.
In there. They're not supposed to be gambling.
So when you're sugarcoating this thing to say, well, everything's all good, and we all, listen, even the man who has a divine love, who is called, according to the Bible, the Son of God, reaches a point where, according to the Bible, he has to mash up the thing, turn over the table, tell the people, yo, come out of here, bro. You're turning my father's house into a den of teeth.
That's right.
You understand? So everything has to have a balance. You know, so we are balancing our children, showing them how to survive.
Yeah.
The mother balances the children by showing them how to love and nourish them. And when they got a cut on their wool, when we come in with a cut, we can't go to our dad. We have to go to our mum. You come in with a bruise, you go to your mum, because we know or feel so that's her job.
Yeah.
But when the point I'm going to make to you is the very good point before we roll up this thing. We teach our children how to survive. Our children grow. When they become adults, they come back with the knowledge that they have and teach us what they've learned and correct us and teach us where we're wrong and what we can improvise on. Don't fight us down for what we didn't teach you, but teach us what we didn't learn. So we come, we teach you, survive. You got there, survive.
And
you've
that's
learned
right.
other things.
You filled in the gaps, then you can come back and say...
Yes, come back and teach us what you know.
Exactly.
Educate us. Don't just come here, take all the knowledge, learn how to survive, and then you're gone about your business. You buy your house, you buy your car, you're gone. And you come and see mommy and daddy once a month. No, you come back and share the knowledge that we as elders can learn.
Yeah, but see, again, I find that can happen if there's an open line of communication with the children. Because you understand what I'm saying? Because I have seen things like that happen, where the children do come back and they sit down with mum and they say, well, you know what, we did this and we did that, and they bring them in, but they have to be able to have that open line of communication with them to be able to do that. Remember back in the day, some children never spoke to their parents for aeons of years because they thought they got too many beating, and or this happened or that happened. And so there was not that coming back to whatever.
They don't know about no beating. You don't
know about going to get sent for the belt or stand up there and watch daddy draw the belt and fold the belt, crack it a little bit. I know about that. You know what I mean? But like I said, I don't know if we can say that they don't know about it, because some children have been brutalized.
Nah, not like some of us.
Some of them have been.
Not like some of us.
But you know, they, like I said, you know, they can go then with the you know, the survival skills that's been taught to them, go out there, fill in the gaps to themselves, and come back and say, look, this is what we've learned, and etc. and etc. Hopefully, like I said, there's an open line of communication that you can sit down and be able to reason with the parents and share that information. One thing I do, and I've always said it, no matter what goes on with me and my boys, you know, I respect my boys so much. You understand what I'm saying? I really respect them because I learn continuously a lot from them. I learn a lot. Whereas the things that I never knew or whatever, they've, like I said, they've experienced, and they'll come back and say, well, Mum, this and that and this and that, and rah, 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 and make sure you don't do this, or they clue me up on certain things, so they you understand what I'm saying, so I can understand what's going on in their time, and I can relate to them better, if you get what I'm saying. I'm not ignorant to
that's it. So that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not ignorant to what's going on. And, you know, I really, like I said to you before, you know, one thing I really and truly are thankful for my boys for is that, you know, with all of these things that's going on, the killings of each other and all the rest of it, my son's always said to me, Mum, anything that happens to us, please don't go and make yourself look like a fool out there saying how they killed my pitney was innocent and never do nothing. They clued me up to, they said, Mum, we don't want you to look like a fool. Yeah, so don't do that, please. Don't go. So they've taught me a lot, and they continue to teach me. You know,
that's
so,
their job.
Yeah.
So you see how it works.
Yeah.
So we teach them. So youngers listening, and my son and all them ones that want go on with whatever. Remember what I said to you. The stages we teach you when you're growing. We don't actually teach you everything we know because we had to. There's a period of time where some of us had to teach you how to survive in this wicked system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you've learned how to survive, the knowledge that is available to you was never available to us. In our time, we never have internet. You know, we never have computer and all them thing there. Pen, paper, and books. Very rare black books. You understand? Especially at school, no black books. Yeah. Yeah. In the library, no black books. You understand what I'm saying? So we was kind of not starved of education, but we had to dig deep to find the education. Now the education is everywhere. Knowledge is everywhere.
Let me just send a quick shout out to DJ Ringo for he's tuned in now. Thank you for tuning in.
Go on, Ringo. So the knowledge is there now for you lot. So don't disrespect your parents or put them down because they don't understand, or you think they don't understand Wagwan. You know what I mean? Don't. Make them understand. Teach them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Teach them because they taught you what they know. That's their stage. You go out there in the world.
That's right.
Learn what the world has to have and come back and bring it to us.
Yeah.
And so when we look at our survival, we are from the Creator. Yeah. The source, the light, the divinity, the divine power. We have been sent out there to learn. And when we finish learn, we come back to the source. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah? Exactly.
If we decide to be disrespectful and don't want to learn, then we're going to go back to the source and then send back out there to learn. Yep. No matter what happens, you have to come back to the source with knowledge. And we are the source. So we got to go back to the Most High with the knowledge that we've learned and thing. Our children have to look at the pattern of the universe and the earth and nature. Everything is connected. So now you got to do the same thing. Go out there, get the knowledge, bring it back to us. Bring it back. And teach us what we need to know. So by the time we leave this earth, we know about the past, we know about the present, and we know about the future.
That's right. Exactly.
That's your job to bring the present and the future back to us. And then we will tell you about the past. And no matter what you learn about the present and the future, it cannot beat or compare to the knowledge of the past.
That's right. But you know what we've got to understand, overstand, understand, every kind of stand, is that when you keep on going on about the past, you will never be able to go forward to the future. You'll stay stagnated in that past. You will not learn, you will not grow.
So that again,
if you stay in the past, you will never be able to.
You have to go to the past to learn.
Yes, you have to go to the past. But I'm saying you go to the past to learn, but you don't stay there. You don't sit down there and say, well, you know, because this never happened, or you know, because this happened, happened, then this is the reason why I can't go forward now, and because I didn't, and because this never, you can't stay there. You can visit it and say, you know what, this never happened, but you go forward and you change. You like I said, you fill in the gaps of what was never done in the past.
Right.
You can always visit back the past to see what was done, what wasn't done, what could be better, what could be made better, etc., etc. But you don't stay there. You don't just sit down there.
Well, we're gonna sort some things out because, as I said, what she's saying is right. Some people dwelling at the past.
Just dwell.
Yeah, it's right. We can go into that. We're gonna do that show. Can you write that down, please? Don't forget.
Where's my book?
Right.
Pass my book,
What
please.
book? You know, don't say that on the radio like you got books. You
I've
know,
got
no book.
See,
You know, come here with
my
my
book
book.
is
You
black
know,
and green. Yeah, I come equipped. You know.
just write it down on the Rizla.
I can't write that on Let me write it down. Yes, of course. Professional, you know.
Yeah.
Professional, you know.
Right. So people. Right.
Right here. So what we're talking about? Dwelling in the past.
Dwelling in the past.
Mustn't dwell in the past.
Right. Dwelling in the past. That's next week's debate. The reason why we want to talk about that is because there's some people that is still stuck in the past.
Oh God, they're stuck there.
That's the dwelling in the past or stuck in the past.
Okay,
yeah.
I did, yeah.
Right. So that's the debate for next week. Reason why? Because some of us are stuck in the past, and some of the children are still blaming the adult for something that's happened in the past. Right. So we're going to talk about that next week because you need to know that there's no need to be stuck in the past.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But you can learn from your past.
Learn from it and move forward.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to move forward, because if you don't move forward and you stay stuck in the past, what happens when everything just comes rushing together now? Now you're in a position of forwardness, but you don't have the knowledge because you didn't catch up. So you sat down there so long. When you do go out there, you're behind. But
I also know from experience, otherwise, because you don't want to take responsibility for your own life, you prefer to blame what goes on in the past and what wasn't done in the past, etc., and etc., because you don't want to take responsibility for your own life now to go forward.
Yes, you are responsible for your life and your action.
Yeah.
From the time, I'm gonna tell you something. From the time you reach 12.
Yeah, because
right,
the Bible, they say from 12. Yes, from your man.
From the time you reach 12, you are responsible for your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are according to our customs.
Yes.
Yeah, from the time you reach 12.
Yeah.
We maintain your ass till you're 17, 18. Some of you are still 20 and still live under mummy roof. You understand?
And so, like you said, the laws, that natural way. When I say laws, we don't mean like the legal way, but the ways of nature.
Right.
When I say they call it the laws, or
the laws of
ways
nature,
of nature,
the laws that govern nature.
The govern nature.
The child's supposed to leave at a certain time.
That's right. Yeah.
The only reason you're there is if the house needs you, or if the parent needs you, or like sometimes you could have elderly parents and they need your support, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody said,
you
have to be there.
Yeah. It's like, again, we go back to nature, because it's like nature's playing a part in this discussion this week. When you look at they say that birds, I learned about the eagles when they said that when it's time for them, the birds to leave the nest, what they start doing is start making the nest uncomfortable. So they start putting sharp twigs in there, thorns in there, they'll put glass in there and everything, until the chick realises, well, it's not a chick anymore, it's big enough, you understand, it's a teenager, now it's time for you to leave. And if birds do that,
birds, you know what they do? Some of the birds, once the baby gets to a certain age, they chow it.
And they dash it out the nest, innit? So it can start flying, innit?
If the ones who live in the cliff.
Yeah.
They throw the bird out the nest, So by the time the bird hit the ground, you got to learn to fly.
Yeah, well, you don't hit the ground. It's either you fly
you hit the ground. By the time the bird hit the ground, I'm dead, you're dead.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
They don't see you in McDonald's between two bread.
End it though, please.
Yeah, please. So, what's how it goes? That's the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Your bird chow you out the nest, and you have got no choice but to fly.
That's right.
Some of we don't know how to swim, and what do? They just train at the river.
Yeah, that's right.
Just train at the river, and then you swim or you drown. One of the two.
Thing.
Yeah. We don't mean to be wicked, but when we know you're ready, we know you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you feel you're not ready, or you don't want to be ready because you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's more convenient and it's cheaper. You don't have to pay no bills. You understand?
Exactly.
So when you're looking at all of these things that we had to do and still do, but some of the children are at home not paying no bills, no light, no gas, no heating, no central, no internet. Everything's free.
Everything's free.
Yeah. How'd that work? How did your mum or dad get to that stage? There was a time when your parent never had nothing apart from the bed to sleep on and your cot. Some of us. Yeah. Some of us never even had that. Some of us had the child in the bed growing up till the child was 2.
Yeah.
We never had no cot. The first time I saw a cot was when my little brother was born. We all grew up in a bed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We grew up in a bed. You know what I mean? All of us staying in the same bed. Mommy, daddy, pitney, everybody. You know what I mean? Granny, everybody. Them time the bed was big. You know what I mean?
Queen size.
Yeah. And you had one grandfather clock in the hallway making noise all night. You know, but this is, I have to show you the history because some of your parents don't know the history, and those who do know the history, there's very few of them left on the planet. Yeah.
And some are very ashamed of what took place in their lives and would never share the history because of trauma suffered. So you don't get that.
Yeah, they don't want to tell the
children.
They don't want the children to feel that why your parents suffered to bring you here. Yes, some of them did. Some of them done some jobs they didn't want to do.
Never wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, so
some things they didn't want to do, man. I see my parents work hard. Right. Hard. But at the time you don't realise is when you look back on it.
Yeah.
And you got your children and you've worked hard to get your children where they are, and you look at what your parents did. My parents worked harder than me.
Yeah. Which is very
And
very
I
true.
worked hard and done some things.
Yeah.
But compared to what they did, I
yeah.
can't compare.
Yeah. It's the truth.
Because remember, they did these things without heating. You understand? They did these things without the comfort that we have now.
Yeah.
They never had washing machine and dryer. When you wash your clothes in the winter, you better make sure you got some coal or paraffin to dry that, because that's going to dry stiff.
That's right.
Like ice. People.
My dad ended up with asbestos, you know, on things, Parkinson's, because of the job that he had to do. You understand, to keep a roof over our head and all the rest of it. My mum suffered severe abuse from working in an old elderly people's home from those people in there. You understand what I'm saying? Certain things she suffered, you know. So they suffered and they worked really, really hard, you know, to try and keep us, you know, with a roof over our head. And like I said, you know, those things. And you know, and again, I'm going to be honest, I always just say, well, all they cared about was that they had a roof over our head and clothes on our back and shoes on our feet and food in our mouth. That's all they cared about. They never cared about, you know, hugging us and kissing us and you know what I mean? That look, like I said, I had a period of complaining that
I
never
used
took
them
place.
always come with some little thing like that too, you know.
You understand what I'm saying?
You never had time for me. What have you done for me?
You never kissed me. You never did this.
You done that for me. I did it all myself. I said, yo, brethren, up to the age of 12, my job is done. Anything over that is a bonus. You understand? So don't, if you look at nature, you're there now till you're 18, 19, 20. You're doing
now.
No, you're not you're sour. You're doing overtime.
In nature, you'll be classed as sour.
No, in nature they would have run you.
That's what I'm saying. You sound move.
But because we understand, this is where we're going back to now. The saying, what goes around comes around. Because we understand the time that we're living in. We know it's hard for you to get a place. It's hard for you to survive and pay rent.
Then don't you see how
so
the systems bringing everybody back into this dark age way of living, instead of, because it's disenabling our children what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? It's not enabling them to live how nature says they're supposed to live. You understand what I'm saying? It's disenabling them. It's disenabling the men to be the men that they're supposed to be, and the women to be the women they're supposed to be. Everybody wants free handouts and doing this, and if not, they're going to do the slackest things to get this thing, that thing, or you understand what I'm saying? The easiest thing, sell the drugs or whatever the case may be to get these things, instead of, you know, learning, you know, about working hard. They say hard work, but it's about working smart. You understand what I'm saying? The whole principles of life, this system is they're killing it. by what they're doing with the housing situations and the job situations and all the rest of it.
Because they have built their empire now.
Yeah, yeah.
They've built everything. So there's no need for the workers no more.
Yeah.
So computer will take over.
Yeah, yeah.
So there'll be no need for none of you. Eventually, all of you will become something else because everything computer is doing. So the job that you're doing at the moment, you better make sure that there's no way a computer can do what you're doing, or else you will have a problem in the future, and then you'll be back at mummy's house in the room that you left.
Lord God,
right?
Father, no.
Right. So real talk, you understand? So all those people who are doing painting and decorating, mechanical work, things with your hands-on thing, you are right. But those who are relying on machines to work with, and knowing that a machine can do what you can do eventually, because remember, look at where we are now. Machines are doing everything, you know. Before, you had to employ somebody to do your accountants. Now you just put it in a computer, mathematics, everything,
It's
calculator,
all done, isn't
everything.
It? Yeah, you got a spreadsheet there and whatnot is all done. Yeah.
So soon there'll be a time when you won't be needed, really. When I say it won't be needed, I don't mean that you won't be needed, but you're going to have to use the two hands that the Most High give you and create for yourself.
Which is good. Which is
Which
what
we're
we need
supposed
to do.
to do.
Yeah, that's
like
what
the brother in Ghana who make the clothes.
Cassini, that's right, yeah.
Right. He's created for himself with the hands that the Most High has given him. And he's done something, his own creation.
Yeah.
No one can't take that away from him unless he chooses to give it away.
Yeah.
And no matter how it goes, it will always be his creation for life. Even when he's not here, his grandchildren will come and say, oh, my granddaddy made that. How do you know? Because he taught me how to make them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You understand? So there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. The technology has changed, but there's nothing new. We've been doing these things thousands of years ago. In the pyramid times, they had electric. In Egypt times, when Egypt was thriving, they had electric, they had hot water, they had street lights. You know what I mean? They even had batteries. You see the battery that we have now? They have that them thing there in Egypt long time. So there ain't nothing new. Man is coming on, oh, we've invented a new battery that lasts forever. It doesn't die. They had them thing there long time. You know what I'm saying? First, second, third story buildings, they had that in Egypt. You understand? Kemet. So when you see all these tower blocks and all of that, where do you think they get them from? You think man just sat down and said, make we build a tower block? They went and they saw what we done, and they come back and try to build it. You understand? So there ain't nothing new. It's just that the design and the structure is modern, but it's not new. And our ways, what you think the old people are dealing with, oh, that's old school. We're not like that no more. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end.
That's right.
Right? Once a man, twice a child.
Yes.
So while you are out there doing your thing, it's all good. But once you get older and you start slowing down, because you will slow down.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So no matter how, you can be in the fast lane now, getting all the good crepes and the clothes and the this and the that. But eventually you will slow down, because one day you will have a baby to feed. So now all that crepe money and garments money has got to cut in half, because the baby now needs half of that.
Well,
but you're going to say, no, I got to make more money. Because no, you don't have to make more money. Cut down what you're doing.
Some don't.
And provide.
Yeah, but some of them don't see it that way. Some of them still want to have the Louis and the Louis Vuitton and the thing, and the picnic them half starving, and they're wearing the best clothes, the weaved, the bundle of Brazilian, what they pay, how much, you understand what I'm saying?
It's not real hair no more.
They've mixed it up.
They mix it up now. They get so good at the thing, that you're going to go out there buy it and you think it's real hair. It's not hair. It's the body of a horse. Right. This is a real talk show, and I hope you've got some wisdom of that last sentence. It's the behind of a horse.
The behind of a horse.
It's the behind of a horse you are stroking.
Hair goes, it's near the behind of the horse. Exactly, that's right.
Yeah, but because you cannot smell the manure, you won't notice it, because they wash it and perfume it up.
That's right. Yeah.
But some of it is the behind of a horse that you are stroking, right? But if you find yourself running faster lately, then you know, sir, there's a connection.
Yeah, I mean, no, please.
Yeah, for real. You know what I mean? When you're running for the bus, boy, I run quick. I went down to Hackney and I went down the. I run quick. I got
horsepower
back quick.
in it.
Yeah, man.
Powered by manure.
The ladies will start driving faster because the horsepower kicking.
The horsepower kicking.
You know what I mean? So, people, that's what it is, right? So, right now, we said what we had to say. It's time for Empress now to come and do our little story time. Yes.
Do you want to?
The Black History.
You don't want to. She
no Black
this is
History.
my daughter. She didn't, because she was tired today, so she didn't really
so
want
she don't want to do
to
no Black History today.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. Next week we're going to talk about Tarzan.
Yeah. Lord.
The guy that they put in the jungle, so he was the king of the jungle.
Tarzan is a brownish black guy who, I don't know, he's in the jungle and he likes stuff.
Well, the Tarzan that we saw, this guy never even had a suntan.
And remember?
Yeah, and he's the king of the jungle.
Yeah, he was the king of the jungle,
The king of the jungle with not even a suntan.
He was just brown.
Nah, man, this guy came from.
He
must have come from Austria or one of them places there.
I don't know.
Couldn't even talk English properly.
Yeah, properly, please.
James, Tarzan,
but you know what I did? I have to admit, I used to like watch it though. Sorry, I did.
The only reason you watch it because of Cheetah. Don't lie.
Yeah, it was. I know.
Everybody waiting for Cheetah.
But you know what? It's my mum. I blame my mum. She loved all of them kind of nonsense there. What's that? What's them program there? 2,000 Leagues Underneath the Sea. And all them business there. Lost in Space and all of them funky programs there that she used to like to watch.
But you see what it is. You see when people like to watch these programs and they don't, because they're connected to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All this Lost in Space, we was connected to that because we don't realize the universe. We're connected to it, and we want to see what's up in the stars, but we can't. So we watch the nearest thing, which is this film.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We want to know what's under the sea because we know that there's cities under the sea.
That's right. They are
subconsciously in your Akashic records. You know all these things are there. So when you see the films and the mermaids and these big 100-foot giants coming out of the sea, these things were real, people.
They were real. Yeah,
they were real.
People don't seem to believe, but they were real.
They were real.
Yeah,
the Jason and the Argonauts and all of these things,
kind of things,
and all the magical powers that they had, these things were real.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that all these magical powers was real, then go check Haiti.
Yeah.
Because that's how they won their freedom.
Haiti and the Mayans, not the Mayans, Mayans.
The Mayans, the Aztecs,
Aztecs and Mayans.
Yeah, because they used to work with the sun and the planets
that's
and all
right.
that.
Yeah, all of them kind of people there and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right. So, what an interesting show.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Considering
we don't plan nothing.
Yeah, we don't.
Right.
We literally sometimes do not plan, but I always believe when we don't plan the show, it goes better.
All right then.
Don't you think
so?
Well,
next week we plan
but
a
we've
little
planned
bit.
it anyway.
Yeah, we need to talk about
out of
that.
the unplanned, we've planned.
Right. So we're not saying we're not having you up youngers and young adults. Right, we're just making you know what we got through. We love you, same way. I don't say right. After all what you just said, listen to me.
No, that's out of love.
Out of love.
That's
remember this,
love. No, it's out of love. We say what we say, isn't it?
Your parents beat you when you do wrong.
Why
did they beat you? Oh, that was from slavery. No.
Out of love.
Because we know what you're doing is gonna hurt you, or you're gonna hurt somebody else. Yeah, so you don't hear what we say, so we give you a little tap to enforce the word. And if the tap don't work, we get a piece of stick.
If you spear the rod, you're gonna spoil the child.
And we deal with that. And if that don't work, then we broke off a piece of tree. Yeah. And if that don't work, then we add a
take the whole tree.
You take the whole tree, yeah, and tie you to it. You know what I mean? They call that cat o' nine, yeah. Then by them time, they see in Jamaica when people was bad in the 70s, the 60s, and all that, even down to the 80s. They tie you to a barrel in the middle of the place. God. And they beat you till you piss yourself.
Remember they put the little hole in the barrel, innit?
Yeah, so you can piss through.
And the teal, and you pee, and the beat, and you just pee in there.
They beat you till you piss yourself. Cat o' nine, right? Those things used to keep the country in order. You know what I mean? Because if you hear about a bad man, you know saying bad because he got dead. So he has to do what he has to do because he knows when they catch him, he's either prison or cat o' nine. Everybody see you naked. You know what I mean? So this is not for these things. Beating to me is not a good thing, but sometimes it can be necessary. And I say that from my point. Yeah, from my point. Me personally, it was necessary. Some of them was innocent, right? But some of them was necessary. Cause if I never got the beating that I get, boy, it's because of the beating makes me think twice. Boy, if I do this and I get catch, I know I'm gonna get a beating. But if I knew I wasn't gonna get no beating, I'd do it, brethren.
Yeah, you do it. You do.
You understand? So it helped for me. It helped me. It kept me on a straight road because me growing up, I was a dangerous person, and a lot of people didn't know that. But I was brought up in such a way, you know, like if your parents need protection, and they're not getting it out there, so you bring up your children. With the mentality, to keep the house safe, so that if anybody comes, you know your children knows what to do, and they will protect you if they have to.
That's right. Yeah.
You understand? So you brought the whole house up like that because that's the age that they were living in, where they didn't know if a teddy boy is gonna be down the bottom of the road when they go to the pub. When they keep a little shubbies, the teddy boys might turn up in a couple Carlos, throw brick through the window. You don't. They live with that constant. Wary of the situation, and they brought up their children the same way, which was us.
And you're very right, because you know, as you're talking, I'm getting flashbacks of when we were young and grown up, and there was always a on edge, always on edge. You're always ready to fight. You understand what I'm saying? You walked with that constantly, daily. You're just ready to fight. You understand what I'm saying? No matter what, you was prepared to fight. Yes, you was prepared to fight. No matter where, when, who, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it was automatic. It was automatic. You're just ready. Right, with you anyway. Yeah, ready. Right, for those who don't know Lady Pearlz, Lady Pearlz come from a wonderful, good background, raised by some wonderful chaps and ting. And like ourselves. You understand? And the girls them had to learn to be tough. You had to be tough. Right? The girls them around us had to be tough. When I say tough, I mean if a man step to you, there's no backing down. That's right, none. Yeah, there's no backing down. And if you can't deal with him, you'll find a way to deal with him, because none of us ain't going to come in and defend you. Right? That's how we used to move. Yeah, you have to move like that, yeah. Lady Pearlz was one of the man them. You have to move like that. So for her sons, if any of your sons is listening, Lady Pearlz used to be one of the mans them, yeah? I'm going to tell you straight, yeah? She used to be one of the man them. And we was something at the time, yeah? But she used to be one of the man them. But how the gal them, we used to have the bare gal them, yeah? But how the gal them roll, sometimes we used to leave the gal them to run the dance. I mean, you got girls on the door, yeah? When the man them would come, them time there used to be pay dance. People used to pay at the door. You don't have man at the door. You have the gal them at the door. Yeah. You understand? You have the gal them at the bar. You have the gal them doing everything. And nobody ain't gonna trouble them because they got each other's back. Yeah, that's right. You understand? So, you know, and if they're gonna fight with anybody, no one ain't jumping in. You understand? Because it's your fight, you do your thing. Unless the man them say it's unfair. That's right. Yeah. Then, or you're gonna get a beating, we might stop it. But apart from that, do your thing. So, you know what I mean, Lady Pearlz has calmed down a lot now. You're retired now. I'm not that person no more. Yeah, but that's why I'm making her sons know, brethren. That person, but don't push your luck. No, I'm just saying, I have to make them know, because we're sitting there talking this thing, but people need to realise we've lived it. Yeah, you understand? Your mummy is not a walk in at the park. You understand what I'm saying? We've calmed down a lot because we've realised that that is the circle of life. As you get older, you get wiser. I don't need to be on the defensive no more. Don't need to be, you know, as much as things are still heated. Like when I say heated, is heated the right way, because you're still living an atmosphere of being tenseness, but wisdom comes into it, and you know now with age comes wisdom. So you know I'm more wiser, more calmer, more know how to deal with situations and everything. You know now. You know, don't have to be all angry and aggressive and all the rest of it. No, I'm feminine. It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. You know how to control it. You know how to control it. But like I said, you add wisdom to it, because sometimes you could have been really ignorant when you didn't need to be ignorant. Yeah. But you thought you had to be because. But I'm just saying, you know, wisdom comes with age, and you know how to control it and deal with it. You understand? And I don't have to go on like I'm some man. No, I'm a woman. I'm a feminine, and I'm, you know, and I'm glad to be that way. Glad. Thank you for lifting up the speaker boxes back in the day. You know what I mean? But it was enough for them, enough for the gal. It's good training, though, isn't it? Good training. And everything, and yeah, it's all good training. We had some soldier gal them around us. I'll tell you the truth though, none of the gal them around us was soft, you know. Couldn't be. Never was.
You
I'm a warrior anyway.
Because if you do,
so
the man them buck you up, man them string you up and hold you up. So the girl them have to be strong to make sure, number one, none of the man them don't harass them. None of the man them don't think they can come and hold them up and take peace, because that ain't happening.
Nope.
You understand? So the girls them knew what they had to be to move around them particular type of man. You know what I'm saying? At that time. But things have changed because we're no longer on this defensive thing. You know what I mean? We've gained wisdom and we've actually get to know who we are. Because them time that we didn't know ourselves.
We didn't really know.
So we were wild.
Yeah.
But now we get to know who we are and, you know, some of what our purpose is on this earth.
Yeah.
And then we just calm down.
Yeah, man.
And our children calm. That's what calm everybody down.
More
you
than
know?
the children.
When the children
came. Yeah, that's right.
That's what calm you down.
Yeah, a lot. I'm telling you, big time, because I couldn't. Well, I must say I was gonna fight somebody when I was 7 months pregnant, but you know I was still ignorant at the time.
Yeah, but
with my first child, but I, you know, I learned. I calmed myself down.
Somebody teeth the bell. Where's the bell?
I did. Ignorance was still kind of working with me at the time, and then I calmed down and said, "Listen, be yourself. Be sensible, be wise. Wisdom start, you know, kicking the piece. Start kicking, you know, and then I just calm myself down and I tell her, I said, watch, when me have me picking me and you watch me and you watch. Right. You understand? But then it's still, even when I had my, I just thought, you know what?
It's not worth it.
Not worth it.
Right.
Not worth it. I ain't got the time for that. I'm a mother now. I'm not no hood rat, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Right. I left it alone.
So I will leave you with a message for the youngers them. Well, anybody listening who thinks that we're chatting some air, right? You will know, as the English people say, the penny will drop when you have your children. You might get away with it with the first one. But you see, when you get 2 of them and 3 of them, that's when you ain't got no choice. Yeah? So the hole that you're digging now, which you call survival and life, yeah? If you dig that hole too deep, make sure you can come out of it, you know.
That's right, yeah.
Make sure you've got a step ladder. This is where the parents are. We are the ladder that goes down in that hole that you can climb up to get out. So don't burn the bridge with we and disrespect we. Because we hold the ladder.
That's right.
We have Jacob's ladder.
That's right.
You understand?
That's
we
right.
are your Jacob's ladder.
I'm glad you put it like that. Yeah. You put that so neatly and so nicely. I love it.
We are your Jacob's ladder.
That's right, yeah.
Right? So when you fall into the oil, only we
that's right.
will put that ladder down there and pull you up and bring you back to safety.
That's right.
Right? So when you have your children, you will know this. I said you might get away with it with the first one because when you get the first youth, I know nothing. I'm talking from the man point of view, yeah? When you get your first youth, I got my youth, man, why, yeah, boom. But you're still doing your thing. But you got my second youth, why, you're doing your thing, but you slow down. But you see, when it comes to the third youth, that's cool, you have to stop. But the reason why you have to stop is because you're realizing you better stop when you get the first youth, because the hole that you dig, if the man them come for you, or you get yourself in a bourgeois, man them will come and don't business about your youth them. You understand? And I've been in situation back in the day when I was doing certain things and a man come and buck me up. And I was with my baby mother and we was pushing the pram. That time you had buggies. These buggies were crap, but that was the buggies at the time. Yeah, you know, the EATs and thing. And the youth come buck me up. And because I had my baby mother with me and the youth, I couldn't do nothing.
There you go.
You understand? I kind of like just, yeah. And man's running up his mouth. And I said, you know what? Yeah. All right, cool. All right. And I make it pass because my youth's there.
That's
that guy could have done anything to my youth. Because
right,
I known man to stab off after babies, you know.
I know.
Don't get it twisted.
I know.
I know man to draw a knife to stab up a baby because man can't get the man.
Yeah.
But you're there with the baby.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Try to stab up the baby.
Yeah.
Don't business.
Yeah.
So make I tell you youngers and you young men and women out there.
Yeah.
Everything has its time. So it's not be a fearful thing. Just use your wisdom and know when to stop your badness. Because you can't bring it home to your children and your wifey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do, your wife and your children will leave. Because they want to be safe. And it's your job to keep them safe, not to dig a hole and bring them in the hole that you're digging. That's what it is. All right. Yes. So the Pearlz of Wisdom show is giving you some wisdom. And remember, we are your Jacob's ladder. Don't forget that.
No bonnet.
Don't bonnet.
Bonnet.
You're gonna need it. You know what I mean? We are your, what you call it? The CFD string. I even you call it. You know what's the word? You like?
What up?
No, I was gonna say bra strap, but I said me's not a bra strap.
Not a bra strap.
Virgin, if that pop, you know, you have a problem, you know.
Exactly.
But
everything a hangout.
Yeah. So you are the bra strap. We are the middleman. Them is the safety ladder.
You're the jock strap.
No, none of that. We don't wear them things there. We like just ballet dancers wear them things
there.
Oh
my God.
We're free, Virgin. Then I make jock strap for black man anyway. So allow that. We use bin liners and things.
Okay.
Hey.
Don't be loud.
Joke thing. So attack my people in Ghana, we're going to see you soon, and we're going to give you some support, my brethren. Real talk,
yes,
right?
Definitely. Please just post up some more stuff on your Facebook page, please, Asini. And like I said, we will be putting it on Bless.
We're mucking around with the website at the moment.
Yeah, so we're getting it sorted out, and we'll
get
your stuff up there and stuff like. We're gonna have to find out a way how we can.
Now you just send a picture.
But we want to know how to purchase.
Oh, we got all that sorted already.
Yeah, all right, we got
that sorted already.
So brother Asini, thank you, and thank you so much. I need to big him up. I have to big him up because this young man, when we was in Ghana, we gave him a kind of a hard time because we was bartering with him and we was, going on with his prices. No, that's too expensive and da-da-da. And he's so humble and he was so calm and he was just so cool.
Because it's in a natural environment.
And he was just such a lovely person. And thank you so much for being so welcoming and so patient with us. I'm telling you, it was such a joy. You understand, to do business with you.
Well, see, what you sow, you shall reap.
Yeah,
and because of his goodness and his kindness.
I wore my outfit. Thank you very much. I did wear my outfit, and it was lovely. People loved it, and they want some. Actually, they do want some.
Right. So we will sort all that out.
Yeah.
So, brethren, we're gonna sort out something with you, right? With Lady Pearlz, I'm gonna have a little talk up when we finish, and we're gonna try and support you in what you're doing. All right. Yeah. So, your good works has not been in vain. Yeah, you know what I mean, and everybody deserves a chance in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be good to
everybody deserves a chance in life. You know what I mean? Whether you rise or fall, that's your problem. Yeah. But everybody deserves a chance.
No, this brother, he's so humble.
We're gonna sort out something with the brother. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Right, we're gonna talk afterwards. So, people, that's it. Right, for now. Right, this is the Pearlz of Wisdom show called Rasta Real Talk. My show's on a Wednesday, Pearlz ain't done my show for a whole year because of you,
Well, but still,
you sound like a chicken. You know what I mean? None of that.
I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it, but cool. You, the thing about I'm spoiled now. It's
better on a Wednesday
now.
For me though.
So what? But again,
chicken. Let me tell you some rice. Right. So if you want to get the catch up on the show, you can get it later on speaking in tongues. Yeah. Right. We can get it on YouTube. Bless Radio 1, the number 1. Yeah. YouTube channel. Yes. You go there. And you'll be able to hear the show. We'll do it later on tonight or tomorrow.
Yes.
But it's there, and you can get it there. And you can pass it to your people. Then this show, what's this show gonna call?
Boy, what can we call the show? That's a good question, my brother.
Children
age
need
comes
to
with
learn.
Wisdom. I don't know.
I don't know.
Wisdom come with age. Don't bond the Jacob's ladder.
We are your Jacob's ladder.
Yes, we are your Jacob's
ladder. We are your Jacob's ladder.
Lovely, lovely. I love that.
That's the name of the show.
We are your Jacob's ladder.
We are your Jacob's ladder.
That's right. Yes.
That's the show, right? I tell you, man, I should be a scientist.
Yes, you should.
I am a professor.
Yes, my brother. Yes.
Right. So that's the show. You're gonna get that on YouTube. It's up there now, but it hasn't been titled. Right? It's streaming live. All this show, all our shows stream live to YouTube. Right? So you can go there and download any of the shows. Any information you need. Most of it is on our YouTube channel page, so there's a lot of links there to different people. Yeah, they're not no joke links like some idiot links. Every link has some information that you will need to educate yourself to the time we are in now. Yeah, all that is on our YouTube channel. You take it out, take it from there. So we are your Jacob's Ladder.
That's right.
Our children. Right.
And I really can please would like to play my Dennis Brown tune.
Which one are you going to play now?
Why fools? Because we do have a lot of fools running around nowadays. So you know.
Okay.
Why fools? That's a good question.
So, who are you going to dedicate the tune to?
To the fools them out on the road. Please, no more foolishness. Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Please and thanks.
Yeah. No more foolishness on the road, but people, you know, says your time. Things are changing. The love energy is coming in.
Yes.
And some of you are fighting against it because man have to be man.
Innit?
Yeah,
but you know,
what is a man? What is the role of a real
man? That's right.
Yeah.
And I think we need to do shows like that. What is the role of a real woman? And what is the role of a real man? See?
Well, you better write it down then, innit?
Yeah, darling, pass me book. You see, out of the on-plan come the plan, innit?
It's alright, you're just going to need a roll of wallpaper to write down all the topics. You know what I mean? Alright, so we're going to play these tunes. For those who don't overstand Wagwan, see you same time next week, Jah willing. blessradio.org every Tuesday. Right, we're starting the show off like this. Yeah, myself, Russ, bless, I don't know much different name them call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lady Pearlz, the Pearlz of Wisdom show.
Yes.
Right. So that's it. Next up, Ringo.
Is Brother Sard.
Oh, Sard.
Yes, Brother Sard.
I thought it was Wednesday.
It's not Wednesday, see? Ringo is
No,
calling.
that's what I'm saying.
Thought it was Wednesday.
After me.
It's after you.
I thought Ringo was here, you know. Okay. Ringo lost colour.
That's tomorrow.
Alright, we're out of here, right? We didn't even know. You're so quiet. I didn't even know you're hiding.
And we'll be back next week, 4 to 6. Well,
alright, cool.
Yeah, 4 to 6, yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk to you about some Halloween thing as well.
Okay.
When is Halloween?
Tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, 31st tomorrow.
That's our best time.
Ooh. That means you can't come out tomorrow.
Well, why can't I come out tomorrow?
Because Doppy don't want to see you tomorrow.
Doppy don't want to see
Doppy
me. They're not going to see me tomorrow. When Doppy have to flee wherever I go.
We're out of here. We're out of here. We're out of here. People, adios, amigo.
Adios.
All right.
Was it playing?